How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We're on to episode 12, I believe, of Backstage Press, and we have a special guest. She can say her name and her company and all that sort of stuff.
Hey guys, I'm Micala Austin. I am a full-time freelance photographer, I guess. I do music photography and then have a portrait business. So, yeah.
Awesome. So I want to start out with Michaela and I have known each other for a short bit of time, but we met because of shouts to Dead American. I was like, she's a great photographer, and I was like, let me ask her to come on and talk about her experiences like doing photography and stuff. So the first thing would be is, how did you start out doing this? Was music your like primary goal to do this, or were you just like, did you happen to fall into it? Like, was this your first plan? Like, where you're like, yeah, I want to become a photographer and I want to do this for the rest of my life?
It was always kind of like an idea. Like, I was like, that'd be cool. I've done portrait photography for a super long time. I've had like a little small business here in Missouri forever, and I've always been like super big fan of music, love going to shows and stuff like that. And I didn't even know that it was like a career that you could have to like be a music photographer. So once I kind of found that out, I was like, I want to do that. That's pretty cool. So it just kind of fell into my lap. This local band here just kind of reached out to me one time and they're like, hey, can you shoot our show? And I was like, yeah, that's sick. So I went and shot it, and I was like, hey, I want to do this. This is pretty fun. I like it. So just started sneaking my camera into a bunch of shows and then finally started building a portfolio that I could like actually request for photo passes and stuff like that. And now I'm here, I guess. So
So did you wind up going to school for, like, I know a lot of people go to like art school and they're like, yeah, I do photography and stuff. So was that, like you said, you started it early on, so you were just like, let me see what I can do, like if I go to school for it, maybe there might be like a larger avenue for me to do like bigger things? Or were you just like, you know what, I just want to do my own thing, Michaela's like photography, and I was like, I want to be my own boss? Or was it kind of like two things?
Well, it was kind of both. Like, I knew, like, I wasn't going to go to school or anything. Like, in high school, I knew I wanted to be a photographer. I was like, I don't need to go to college. Like, what's the point? And my parents were like, no, you're going to college. So, yeah, I went and
I feel that.
Yeah, right. And so I did graphic design as my major, and then just had, like, a concentration in photography. So I did a lot of photography classes. But I'm pretty much all self-taught for the most part. Just kind of used college as portfolio building and stuff like that, and to have a good time, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm always curious, because I had one other photographer on so far, and I'm always curious like on the background of like people and how they get started and stuff, just because I think it's more interesting for me, because I speak with a lot of these people on like a semi-daily basis, and so it's cool to see like, you know, how many different avenues you can get to get into the industry and stuff like that. So what was like one of the bigger bands that you've shot that you're like, oh my god, like I never thought I'd have the opportunity to shoot this band, and like freaked out?
I shot Soundgarden on their second to last show before Chris Cornell passed away.
Oh my god, that's wild.
It was nuts. It was kind of traumatic, honestly. Like, it was 2 days before he passed away that I photographed them. Yeah, it was, waking up to like finding that out was pretty rough.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially like seeing him and like literally playing the show.
It was so crazy because the venue that they were at was like a really weird venue that I had never shot at before, and they had like super strict rules. And so we weren't allowed to like shoot from a regular like photo pit. We were only allowed to shoot from like the sides. It was really weird. And and so I didn't really like even get anything super good. Like, I got some cool crowd shots, but nothing like really otherwise. And so I was so bummed. I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, I just like really wanted to get good photos, and then he passed away, and I was like, oh, I'm like so lucky that I even got to see them, because Soundgarden's one of my dad's favorite bands of all time. Like I grew up listening to Soundgarden, and he had never even seen them before. And yeah, so I was just like, I'm so grateful that I just got to be in their presence and like have the opportunity to bring my camera. Yeah. So it kind of made me think a little bit like, you have a really cool job. You just need to be really happy with what you're doing and not complain about anything. So yeah, that was definitely a big one. But I've got to shoot the Used like umpteen times now. They've been my favorite band since I was like a little kid. So getting to shoot them and like work with them was pretty cool. Their guitarist Joey is a homie of mine. Love him. Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
it's so cool when you meet people like that are like now like your friends. You're just like, I remember listening to you like back in the day, and now I'm like friends with you. It's wild.
It's so embarrassing. Like the first time I met them, I was like, I'm gonna be chill. I'm so cool. Like it's totally fine. And then like I actually met them and I broke out in hives. I'm not kidding. Yeah, it was so bad. I was like, what is wrong with you? Like chill out. Like luckily I had like, I think a long sleeve shirt on or a jacket or something, and it was just on my arms. So like nobody saw it. But my husband was sitting next to me, and I just like lifted up my shirt, and he like started cracking up. I was like, it's not funny. This is not cool.
I'm having a moment here, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, I need to be chill right now, and I'm not chill.
I'll be honest, I kind of felt that way about Cove, because he was like, Seosin was the band that got me into this scene. So I was a little starstruck, I'll be honest. Like I usually don't, because I've been doing it long enough where I don't feel like I feel like starstruck about anybody. But Cove was honestly one person that was on my list, and there's a few other that are still on my list that I'll get into maybe later. But Cove was definitely number one, and I was just like, he's so nice. Like shout out to Cove. He's the best.
I was so terrified of him the first show I shot for them. Like I was just like, oh my god, like I'm so scared of Cove, and now I'm just like,
Cove. Whatever. No. He's not like, he wasn't like a part of a like huge band or anything, you know. So.
Oh my god, he's like one of my favorite human beings on the planet.
I can 100% back that too. He's god. Great. But that's awesome. Like, and so obviously being such a huge Used fan, I have to ask the question: if you were to rank the records, how would you, what would be top to bottom? I know that's like I know that's like picking your favorite child, but
you know, okay. I mean, In Love and Death is like my favorite record of all time. Like obviously it's top tier for sure, and then Self-Titled is a very, very, very close second. And I know it's basic. Lies for the Liars artwork. And then, Shallow Believer is probably tied for third or fourth. I really dig Shallow Believer for sure. And then Imaginary Enemy, and then Vulnerable. I don't have any problems with. Oh, and actually the Canyon. I think I like the Canyon more than Imaginary Enemy and Vulnerable for some reason. I don't know why.
Interesting.
It also, like, my order for them could change, like, at any given moment, because they're, like, one of my favorite bands to just, like, jam out to. Like, their whole entire discography, just, like, listen to everything in a day. But I'm super stoked for this new record.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
I know you're trying your best to not say anything. I've been in that position before where it's just like you want to say enough, you know, but you want to also like keep your foot on the brake pedal a little bit so you don't say too much. So I get
it. I have a feeling it's going to be great.
There we go. Well, we're gonna leave it at that.
I'll leave it at that.
And it's really cool because like I was gonna ask that question regardless, so I'm glad you brought it up because I saw your like vinyl collection and I'm like, I'm a vinyl collector myself, so I was like had to ask about those. So I was like, I was like, you got the good setup. So I was like,
Yeah.
when you had the photo on there with like all of the vinyl split up, I was like, yeah, that's cool. I was like, I might have to take a page out of your notebook and do that in my apartment.
Yeah, we have like an upstairs living room and a downstairs living room in our house, and both of them are just like decked out in vinyl, and it's pretty good. It's easy decor and it's cool. So yeah, I have like my record cabinet that I restored, and I have like all of Dead Americans. They're like box sets sitting on top of it. Yeah, all the used.
Actually, I have it in my room, which is over there in the corner. Most of it's signed. Most of it's signed. Cove didn't sign it. I'm a little upset.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, Cove didn't sign it, so Cove's gonna have to sign it. Cove, I know you're watching this. You got to sign this, and you have to sign my other Seosin record. Just saying.
Cove, I know you're watching this. You suck. How could you
I wouldn't go that far. I feel like I can't say I can't say it because he's my hero, but but you can say that because you've toured with him. So
he's my hero too, but
you could also say that.
Yeah.
So the next thing, Michaela, obviously you've done touring. So what was like your first tour experience, like going out with bands and like shooting photography? I imagine it was quite a large feat early on. So
I honestly don't have a ton of tour experience. My first tour was in 2017 with a band called Hell or High Water. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yes,
Joey, from The Used, he was in it, and then Kyle from Dead American, the drummer for Dead American, was the drummer for Hell or High Water, and Brandon from Atreyu. So it was just like, and then Maldy and Hoover. It was a really good group of dudes, and so they played a show here in Missouri, and I just got asked to shoot it by their like media people, and it was like the first time that I had ever like met with a band other than like local bands. So I was like super nervous. I was like, I'm gonna bail, like I can't do this, I'm not ready, like so terrified to go like meet this band, because they wanted me to like come out like super early, like right whenever they got there, and just shoot like a whole bunch of content for them. And I was like, I'm not ready for this, I can't, I'm so scared. And I was like, no, okay, I'm gonna go. My husband was like, you're doing it, like I'm not letting you back out.
Good
so
for
I
him.
went. Yeah, he was like, dude, just you suck it up. And so I went, and they were all super chill. Like all of those guys are the best. And we just like hit it off. We got burritos and pizza and chilled, ate a whole bunch of food. Yeah. And then
that's the move.
Yeah, for sure. And so I hung out with them that whole time, took a bunch of photos. They liked what I did, and then like every time they came through, I would go shoot, and we just kind of built a relationship. And then it was summer that I met them, and then in fall they were like, hey, do you want to come out for a few days? I just went for like a short, like not even a week. Yeah, just a little tiny bit of it, and I was like, this is sick. Big fan, like I want to tour, because that was kind of like a test for me. I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. I've always wanted to tour, but like I don't know, because it's like, it's crazy. It's a really stupid, weird lifestyle. But I went, and I was like just sat in the back of the van with my little iPad, watched movies, and like hung out, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I love this. So then so that was my first tour experience. And then the only other tour experience I have is with Dead American, but I toured with them for a year, basically, like over a year.
Correct.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, and hopefully just what I'm not going to talk about it because I'll probably get demonetized if I talk about it, but hopefully everything will blow over, and
I know
we'll be back to normal life again.
Yeah. Really hoping their tour with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus got rescheduled for June, and I'm just like, oh, really hope that it doesn't get rescheduled again. I need to shoot a show. I hate it.
I'm going through show withdrawal, so I feel the vibes. Yeah, that
it's so bad. it's crazy because like sometimes I'll be like, like I just got home from tour. Like the last thing I want to do is go to a show right now. But now that I like don't have one, I'm like, what is wrong with you? You should have gone to like every show. You ruined it.
That's how I felt. I was just before it all happened, and you know, venues were closing down and stuff. The last show that I went to was Silent Planet, Currents.
Same.
That tour was great. And then I was supposed to go see We Came as Romans that Sunday.
Oh, I did.
And that one they canceled like on Friday. So I was like,
I got to see that one, and that's actually the last one that I went to, and it was pretty sick.
I'm a little deeply hurt because I know they rescheduled it already, but I'm hoping it's. I know they rescheduled it, so I'm hoping it still happens. But obviously you have a lot of experience taking photos in the pit, so I have to get your opinions on it, stuff like that, advice. When you're in a pit, I always see like pit etiquette, stuff like that.
Yes.
So what are some, like, if somebody's getting into photography and they're like, I want to shoot shows, like what are some like advice, experience, like maybe some like stories that you could talk about like, shooting photos at a show? Because it can be crazy.
It's nuts. I would say like the most important thing is just be like aware. Like there's so much going on. Like it's really hard to like focus, but you just have to be aware of everything going on around you, and like don't suck. Like just be nice. Like security are there for a reason. They're trying to protect you and everybody else. Like don't be mean to security, and like just follow the rules. Like I know it sucks and it's not fun, and I literally said that I used to sneak my cameras into venues, so I'm not. But I mean, especially if you're new, like it is important to just kind of not piss people off, know. Yeah, don't get in, like, especially tour photographers and stuff, like they're there working, like just be like aware.
Yes,
of what's going on.
I feel the same way, because like obviously I shoot a lot of shows in Philly, and whenever I'm at shows, like even if I'm like behind the barricade and like somebody's shooting in front of me, like in the pit, I'm trying to be conscious of them, because I'm like,
for sure,
they're on tour, they need to make money, they need to get the shot. Like I was like, my stupid YouTube video can wait. As a
YouTube video that I ruined.
I don't mean that. It wasn't necessarily a call out on that, but if you wanted to take it that way,
literally saying be self-aware, and I was not even self-aware at all.
I feel like I was gonna take a slight jab in the edit, but I'm not gonna do it now, because I feel like
jab me. It's fine.
But
I still feel so bad every time I see that video. Anytime I see you like post something, I'm like, I still feel bad about that.
That might have been the reason why she came on to do this, but but I feel like for me, like whenever I see that, I'm like, they're working. Like if it's for me, like even being on the outside and just shooting video, I'm like, it's important for me to be aware of like them and stuff like that. And obviously if there are people that I know, they'll just be like, oh, he's shooting video, like, and I'll just like, duck or whatever, or like, something like that. I'll make it work out if that's the case. But do you have any like, I guess like crazy experiences in the pit where you're just like, oh my God, like how did I make it out of this kind of, I mean, it sounds like worse than what it is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was shooting Law Dispute, and like he's insane, the vocalist. I don't really know much about them, but they were sick. But he's like insane, and he like kind of was going into the crowd, and I was like right there whenever he like launched in, and his mic cable got wrapped around my neck. Yeah, it was insane. And I like, I didn't even realize what was going on at first, and I was like, whoa, no, this is not cool. And luckily there were like some dudes in the front row that like helped me get untangled from this guy's mic stand, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna die right now. This is how I go. Like that's a pretty cool way to go out, I guess. But I was like, this is how it ends. But luckily those dudes saved me, and I like turned around and I was like, Thank you. I like don't even know what just happened. It was like so fast, but I survived. I lived.
You're here to tell a tale.
I'm
so
here.
Obviously,
yeah, exactly. And it's a fun story now. So
yeah, looking in the moment, I'm sure it was not fun whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't even like remember what happened. Like it was, you kind of like zone out whenever you're in the pit. Like I'm not. I don't know. And so yeah, it was weird.
I've been in the pit one time to shoot photos because, you know, the one show that I went to, I think it was Don Broca was doing like their headliner tour in the US, and the venue that they played the Foundry in Philly, and people were already like packed up to the front, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to shoot video. So I like was just like, oh, I'll just shoot photos, because like there is this other band from Seattle that hopped on for like a couple dates, and I know them very well. And they're like, oh, we'll just get you in the show. You can take photos or whatever.
Sick.
And I've never been more scared in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, there's just like 5 or 6 other photographers are all like running here. And then like the bands play, and you're trying to like not get in anybody's way. And I'm just like, this is like what drugs would feel like. I imagine.
It's such a crazy experience. Like I remember specifically, I was shooting The Used one time, and it was at Warped Tour. Ooh. And yeah, but they gave me all access and stuff, so it was really nice. I was able to like shoot on stage, and like there was a moment where I was just like, this is the coolest thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And I like got choked up like while I was trying to shoot, and I just like stood there and I was like, this is so cool. And then I was like, okay, get out of this, like come on, keep working. But I just like took had a little moment, and it made me really grateful for what I get to do.
Yeah, that I do feel that way about like what I do too, because I'm always like, whenever I get to interview bands and stuff when I'm at shows, it's like such an insane experience. And then I'll tell people, and it's just like a normal thing for me. I was like, yeah, I just interviewed this band like last week. They're very tight. And they're like, you interview bands? And I'm like, it's just whatever. It's something casual, you know? And it's just like such a weird experience. So like, do you feel like when you like I imagine most of your friends are like in the scene, or like they are familiar with it, but I imagine you also have some friends that aren't familiar with it. So when you're like, oh yeah, I just shot Soundgarden, like no big deal. Like how do you feel like they take it? Because I almost feel like you have to like kind of downplay it in a sense. I know it sounds terrible, but it's true. But it's true. Like you're just like, I just shot Soundgarden. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, in like Missouri, it's not as common of a thing. Like in big places or like big cities and stuff, like knowing someone like famous, I guess, is like kind of normal. And here it's just like, what? Like you do what? And people like just think it's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, it's my job. And they're like, oh my God, you met this person and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yep, they're just like a normal human being. Like, yeah, I have definitely had my fangirl moments. I still do. Can't help it.
Same.
Yeah, but I mean, now it's just kind of like normal life. But yeah, some of my friends are like, what? And my parents like to hype me up like a little bit more. They like to like, they like to like go to work and be like, yeah, our daughter like knows all these musicians, and like they like to make me sound a little cooler than I actually am. So
that's how my parents are. Shouts to the Z parents. They're like they're the same way. They're just like, yeah, our son interview bands on YouTube if you want to check it out. And I'm just like, oh, thanks. I'm like, you know, you don't have to. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I appreciate it.
I owe you one.
Yeah.
This is for you.
But the next question, Michaela, I like asking some band questions, so I feel like I'm gonna ask you some of them. Who have you been jamming recently? You know, what's on your Spotify? What vinyl have you been playing recently?
I have been listening to the new well, it's not really that new anymore. The new Dayseeker record. So good. So good.
So good.
So good. I feel like I constantly go back to that record lately. I'm like, And I'll admit it, I was sleeping on Dayseeker, like for sure, until that record came out. Now I'm like, yes, so good. And so I'm going back to older stuff now. And
there you go.
That new record, or it's not even really new. It came out in like fall, I think. I don't know.
I think it came out in 20. I think it came out last year.
I'm
sure.
I think. Yeah, I don't remember, but I slept on it for a little bit. Slept on them, but big fan now. Super.
That's good. There you go. Yeah. It's fun. Ironic you said that because I was literally listening to that record at work. I like had the Dayseeker like radio on, and I was just listening to like they like cycled through like a bunch of Dayseeker tracks. There's some like We Came as Romans, and I was just like, this is great. I was like,
oh good.
The Spotify was on point today.
I literally listened to it today and like did like the Spotify like shared an Instagram story because I was like, oh, gotta let everyone know I'm listening to Dayseeker right now. I guess. Have
you shot Dayseeker yet?
I haven't. I've only So they were at that We Came as Romans tour.
Correct.
And I was like so stoked to shoot Dayseeker. Like one of the main reasons that I wanted to go, I was like, I want to shoot Dayseeker. And then we missed like half of their set. Yeah, it was tragic. I was so upset. Like we were on our way and I was like, I don't want to miss Dayseeker. Like, I really, really, really want to see Dayseeker. And then we got there, and I think I saw, like, their last 2 songs. And my little heart was so broken. But I was like, it's fine. Now I know. Next time, I need to get there earlier.
There you go. I also feel like they need to move up some slots on, like, billing. But that's just me, personally. I feel like,
sure.
I've done my work as a music promoter to promote them because that was one of my favorite records of last year.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I feel like I had to do my self promotion of that, but it's such a fantastic record, and they're great live. Shouts to Rory. We were gonna do something. We're gonna do something at that Weekend's Romans show. So hopefully it'll be rescheduled. That's what I'm really hoping for.
For sure, gotta make it happen, definitely.
But the next question, Michaela, another fun band question. If you were to compile a Micaela tour, the dream tour lineup, who'd be on it? I
gotta say The Used and Dead American for sure.
Okay.
Gotta have them. Trying to think. Beartooth. I mean, my first tour with Dead American was the Beartooth Disease Part 2 tour, and. Oof. Like, getting to watch them every night was so sick. So, I don't know. This is such a hard question. The Used, Dead American for sure. Probably Beartooth. And then they have played some shows with Currents. And my first time seeing Currents was at the Silent Planet tour. Ooh. And they were sick. And they're like homies of Dead American. I've met a few of them, and their photographer that they had on this last tour, Sarah, is super tight. So we actually just like talked the other day. We were like, we need a Dead American Currents tour. So that's just like what popped into my head right now. I don't know. I would need to like really think about this.
That one, I feel like that one's a tough one. Even
that's so tough. But the Used, Dead American, for sure, 100%.
There you go. They have not toured together, I don't think,
no,
to my knowledge.
I'm like patiently waiting. I joke with Dead American all the time. I'm like, you guys are like, I'm just using you to get to the Used. Like, I'm waiting for you guys to tour with the Used, and then I'm gonna ditch you. They're gonna kill me.
That doesn't. I don't feel like that bodes well for you. You know.
They know. They know how it is.
At least you're honest.
They make fun of me all the time because I say like the band's name is The Used, and they make fun of me all the time. I'll be like, oh, I brought my favorite The Used shirt, and they're like, why don't you just say like your favorite Used shirt? I'm like, because it's not a used shirt, it's The Used. That's the band name. So they make fun of me all the time. Anytime we like talk about the Used, they're like, oh, the Used, and I'm like, yeah, that's what the band is called, Kay.
Oh my god, that's great. That's the most dad joke I've ever heard.
Dude, they're the worst. No, they're not. I love them. They're the worst, but I love them. I like don't even know if I actually want them to tour with the Used with me, because the whole thing would just be them like trying.
One giant joke.
Huh?
It would be one giant joke.
Yeah, and they would just like try to embarrass me every day, and they would succeed, and it would probably be terrible.
Okay, guys, if you're watching this, because I know you do, you watch my content. I feel like you do.
Yeah, they do.
Seriously, don't if this happens, which, you know, listen, I'm gonna give the 1000% cosign on this, because this just sounds great. First of all, secondly, don't do it to Michaela like that.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, you know, I wouldn't want to see that, because you know, we're homies, and I wouldn't want to see her be upset in just such a great element, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly how I would want my homies to be happy in a like dream scenario situation. So
I appreciate you having my back. It means a lot.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you so much.
The next thing, Michaela, getting back to the photography stuff, what was like one photo that you feel like just came out like awesome? Like, what's one of your favorite, like, I guess, sets that you've shot?
It's on my wall. It's actually a picture of Anthony Green. I'm looking at it right now. Maybe I can, here. I can maybe flip it. Don't look at my office. It's a mess, but I don't know if you can see it. There's this.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. That one's
Taco
probably.
Bell too.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have my Taco Bell sign. Very, very important for sure. But yeah, that one, I remember like getting it and just being like, yep, that was sick. I like that. So
what tour was that on? You don't
know. It was with Thrice. So a long time ago, like 2017, I think. Or no, it was Circus Survive and Thrice.
And then wasn't Balancing Composure on?
Maybe that sounds right. I don't remember. It was in like 2017.
I think that was the one, because the internet's gonna hate me right now, but I have I'd never seen Thrice before.
Oh, so sick.
And they're great. Like, I know they're a great band. Like, I know they're a classic, you know, along with Thursday, you know. I used to get them mixed up. Again, people are going to hate me for that too.
How dare you?
How dare me? How dare me not know all about the music industry?
Exactly.
But I had seen Circa a few times, but I hadn't seen them in a while. And I was just like, I have to go see this. Like, it's a must for me. So I knew Sean, because I think Sean was like the third band, and then Balance opened it. And I was like, I know a few Balancing Composure stuff. And I was like, I know Sean's stuff very well. And I was like, I know a good amount of Circus stuff. So I was like, I got to go to this.
Yes.
And I think that was a tour. I'm going to guess. My brain that's what my brain's thinking.
Yeah, I don't remember. Dang, getting old. Memory's gone.
I feel that. I'm gonna say that's what it is, though.
Exactly.
Post Brandon will be on the case. I'm almost positive that's the tour, but just you know, just in case the internet haters or keyboard warriors out there are gonna start typing in the comments.
You're gonna like check afterwards, and you're gonna be like,
I was wrong.
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, it's just gonna get cut out. That's the only thing that, just so I don't look like. I mean, I don't care. I'll look like an idiot anyway. I'm an idiot most of the time on here.
It happens to the best of us.
But the next thing, Michaela, if there was, obviously you have the Used on your list as like a dream band to like tour with and stuff like that. But if there was another band that you like could dream shoot, like if there was one artist that you're just like, doesn't matter like how impossible the scenario is, what would be one person you'd want to just shoot a set of?
I always say like No Doubt is like one of my bucket lists. Like, dude, I think it'd be so fun to shoot her. Like, I just kind of want to go back to like 90s Gwen Stefani though. Like, I'm like, can we just travel back in time and can I shoot like a real like No Doubt set? Like, it'd be so sick. But I love No Doubt, and I would say that would be a top for sure. I'm such a Billie Eilish fangirl too.
True.
So Billie Eilish would be sick. And then another one that I always say is Incubus, because I like grew up listening to Incubus, and I've never shot them, and I would really like to. That one's maybe, I don't know, a little more attainable, I guess.
Incubus would be very cool. I know. I don't know. I don't know if Gwen Stefani's doing anything with No Doubt.
I know.
So I can't.
Don't crush my dreams.
I can't say. I can't say that. So I don't know. I definitely know Incubus is still touring.
Yeah, for sure.
But I had this really. They have this one really awesome show in New Jersey. It's called See Here Now Festival, and they have 2 stages, and they're both on the ocean. So like Incubus had played last year on the ocean. Because one of my coworkers went, and I told him about this festival. I was like, you should go, because like he's a huge Dave Matthews fan, and he was like, oh, but I also like Incubus, and I was like, that just works out.
Do it.
And so I was like, go, and he went, and he was just like, it's so cool seeing a band play, and then the sun setting on the ocean. I was like, that's kind of rad. I was just like, it would probably be like a photographer's nightmare, though.
Yes, I mean, I don't know. It'd also be like
very cool, though.
Awesome, yeah.
So. Fingers crossed. Maybe you might get a sick Incubus show next time.
I would love to. I want to see them. I've never even seen Incubus, so I'm just like, oh, I need to see Incubus for sure.
And also shoot the show.
Yeah, and also shoot. But I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, I just want to go to a show now.
Anything, yeah.
Anything, yeah.
Anything right now.
Even if it's just like a little like local show with nobody there. I don't care. I want to go and be in the presence of other human beings.
Oh, I feel that. I feel that's so hard. Oh man.
Sucks.
We can't talk a lot about it because I feel like we'll get really sad about it.
Okay.
But the next thing is, I'm more curious about this for my own personal question. Okay. What do you shoot with? What was like your first camera that you got and you were like shooting with, and then now what is your current rig?
Not music photography, but I started doing portrait photography. My mom had like an old Rebel. I don't even know. It was like a Rebel XSI. I don't even know. It was an old camera like back then, and I just took pictures of like my friends and stuff like that with it. And then I got I'm a big Canon girl. I had a Canon 70D for years, and that's what I started music photography with, and I still have that camera. And then now I shoot with a 5D Mark III. It's right here.
Nice. There you go.
But I am in the market to upgrade this year. I'm really hoping that Canon's gonna drop a sick mirrorless guy sometime this year, and because this one, she's been good to me, but I need to upgrade.
You need to spread the wings and get something better.
Yeah. So I'm really waiting for something sick.
Well, Canon, if you somehow stumble upon this podcast,
hook me up.
Feel free to hook Micaela up.
Yeah, you too. You can have one too.
I'm not a Canon person. If Sony wants to hook me up, I would be totally about that.
If Sony wanted to hook me up, I'd be a Sony person. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I feel like now you're just choosing sides. So whoever gives you the sick deal,
I'm not that picky. I'll take whatever.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah,
I've just always had Canon, but
true. I feel like for me, like I had started out with the Sony RX100 Mark II, and it was like a little point and shoot camera, and that shot great. I still have that. But then I was like, I have to get the A7S. So now I shoot with the A7S, and I love it. So shout out to my friend Nathan, who sold it to me. You're the best.
You're the best, Nathan. We love you.
Yes, so much. And then the last thing would be, tell them where they can find you on social media, where they can, if they are inquiring about some good band photos, where they can reach out to you at, and obviously. Unfortunately, there isn't much going on now, but we're gonna hope for the positive.
Yes.
So tell people what you got going on.
Yeah. I mainly, I'm on everything, but Instagram's my main. Just Micala Austin.
Interesting. Not on Instagram. That seems a little bit.
No, I am on Instagram. That's my main. That's like my main thing. Yeah,
I misheard it.
That's all good. No, Instagram's like the only thing that I do use. I have a website and stuff too, MicalaAustin.com. But you should check out Dead American. That's what I want everyone to go to. You can check out me, but check out Dead American. They have a new record coming out this year, and it's gonna be so sick. So check them out too.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you took the spotlight time to talk about it. Dead American.
Yes.
I can also concur.
They'll find, if they go to Dead American, they'll find me because all their photos have my name on them. So
true.
Go to Dead Americans. Take out where I said mine, like handle and stuff. Just go to Dead American. Find me that way. Go to Dead American first.
I'll take, the watermark. That's what you have to look for, Micala Austin. I will make sure to leave her stuff in the description so you can go check out her work. Because that's the main reason we're on here for, as much as I love Dead American, shouts to Dead American, yes. I have to give the love to Micaela. She's a great photographer. And I was like, man, who should I ask to have on to this? And I was just like, I gotta ask Micaela. And then I was like, kind of like low-key, like she owes me one, but at the same time I was just like, she's a great photographer, so it's like kind of like a win-win for me.
Yes.
But go check out Micaela's stuff. Links will be below. If you have any inquiries, I'm sure she will answer her email through the website, or I will leave her email address in the description below, whichever one she wants. If it wants to be Dead American's email address, and people are like, hey, Micaela, what are you gonna do? Yeah, send them spam, memes,
spam them so
whatever.
much.
Just spam them entirely.
Yes.
But go check out Micaela's stuff. Serious. I said it for the third time, but go check out her stuff. And if you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. Make sure to go tweet at The Used and Dead American so we can get that tour going.
Yes,
you want to see it. I want to see it. It would make my emo little boy dreams happen. So I really would like that to happen.
100%.
We can rewind time a little bit and do like the self-titled and In Love and Death again, with Dead American on it.
Yes.
please. But
perfect. That's the dream tour.
That is the dream tour. But like I said, go check out Micaela's stuff, and thank you, of course, to Micaela for coming on and chatting tonight.
Thank you. So excited. Good hang.